Alright guys, I'm live. Welcome to or welcome back. This is Hanging with Dave, episode 26 I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, episode 26. Just a little talk show I put on here on Saturday morning, 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, here in the U.S. Kind of talk about some tech news that's going on. I go through the comments that people's left over the past week and whatnot. I really don't have no news for this week. I know Ryzen just dropped the 3100 and the 3300X, but I got a dedicated video coming out on that, so I'm not going to touch on that today. Today I'm just going to pretty well go down through the comments that's been left for the past week or so. The channel's growing pretty good, and it's got to the point where this is going to be pretty well just Q&A, or seems like it's going to be just Q&A, which is why I intended on doing this. I put it, that's why I started the live stream on Saturday mornings, is just for a Q&A, to hang out with you guys, and have you guys ask questions live, and, get to know me a little bit better if you like to, or whatnot, whatever kind of questions you want to throw up there in the comments section, or the chat. There is a few disclaimers here in the front of it. Number one, I am a truck driver by trade, so my mouth ain't always the cleanest. So I may use a foul language now from time to time. I try to keep it to a minimum, especially when I'm live. But unlike videos, I can edit it out. When I'm doing live streams, I can't edit it out, so I want to throw that warning out there. And also, it is Saturday. It's my day off. I do enjoy me a cold Budweiser while I do this live stream. And usually it's, usually Q&A, and, that's what I really want to mainly focus on. But, it is my day off, so I enjoy me a cold beer on my days off. And I've been streaming some gameplay of the Borderlands 3, and I've been drinking while I've been doing that too. It's just, on my downtime, I like to relax a little bit. But like I mentioned, today it's going to be mainly just Q&A, going through the comments that's been left on the videos for this week. Let me see here where I need to go down to here, because there's been quite a few of them. Alright, let me flip you over here to the desktop. I can actually get rid of that now. I will flip you over to the desktop here. Alright, and while I go through these Q&As, if I butcher your names, I'm sorry. I apologize. I ain't very good with the English language, let alone some of these handles you guys have on YouTube. But I try my best to pronounce them. So if I butcher them, don't yell at me or cuss at me too loud or too hard. We have Gillian92H 6 days ago. That was on the last live stream I did. YouTube doesn't warn me when you are live. At least for me, I have tried unsubscribing and subscribing again. Let's see if that solves it. You could upload what you think about the Intel 10th Gen. I've seen different opinions around the internet about it. Well, thank you for watching. Thanks for the comment. Thanks for the sub. If you ain't getting notifications when I go live, right beside the subscribe button is that little bell. Make sure you click on it and go up and to all notifications. That way you're notified when I go live or the next time I put out a video. As far as the 10th Gen, I did do a dedicated video to that. I made a video by itself on that because I thought it was worth it, just like I am the Ryzen 3 launch that's coming up. Or it's already launched, but you can't buy them until May 21 of 2020 here. So I can't get my hands on them, but I'm gonna go over some benchmarks that other people's got out over them and whatnot. Some articles I found on it. But thanks for watching, and thanks for the comment, and thanks for the sub. Appreciate that. Sorry you wasn't getting your notifications about when I go live. What do we got here? Rodrigo Pablo, 6 days ago. How to update the B450 DS3H motherboard BIOS for the Ryzen 3000 series CPU. Thanks for the tutorial. Thanks for the tutorial. Really helped out. Well, I'm glad I could help you with that. I'm glad you got that BIOS up to date. It does put some pretty good performance into the processor that you normally wouldn't have without a BIOS update. And it does make it to where that motherboard can run the Ryzen 3000 processors. But thanks for watching, and thanks for the comment. Last week's Q&A, Hanging with Dave, episode 25, Chris Hedges. 60 days ago. Hey Dave, quick question. Have you ever farted so hard your back cracks? That's a good joke, but no, I haven't. I've never cracked my back by farting so hard. But thanks for watching and thanks for the comment. Appreciate that. I'm always in the mood for a good joke every once in a while. 5 days ago, we had Ultra Quaz, I guess we pronounce that. How to overclock your RAM on the Gigabyte B450 DS3H motherboard. You saved me a lot of time, thank you. Also, I noticed you reply to every comment. Very nice. I try to reply to every comment. That's kind of why I started the live show here, to make it a little bit easier for me to go through the comments. I also go back and I type back to everyone. I'm not so good on keeping up with when they reply back to my replies. I'm trying to get better at that. I'm trying to learn the YouTube how you go in and filter them down to be able to get back to the replies where people reply to your reply. And right now, with being a small channel like I am, it's pretty easy to reply to the comments and whatnot. It don't take too long. As the channel goes, I'm planning on keeping it up. But as I get more and more comments, I may use some of these little easy tags down there, like I try, no problem, happy to help. I may end up having to switch over to them whenever the channel gets bigger, but I'm going to continue to try to reply to every comment. That's part of being in the community, right? And that's pretty well what I'm trying to build here. But thanks for watching and thanks for the comment. Appreciate that. Mr. Jollycat, 5 days ago, how to update the Asus BIOS, Asus Prime X470 Pro. Thank you so much, sir. Well, you're welcome so much. Thank you for watching and thanks for the comment. And I hope that helped you and you was able to get that BIOS updated. Let's see here. Nano VS, 5 days ago. How to update the BIOS for the Gigabyte B450 DS3H motherboard. He says, thanks for you. Well, thanks for you to watching and thanks for the comment. I hope that helped you and you was able to get that BIOS updated. Let's see here. 5 days ago, we got Empathy 2190. How to build in the Cooler Master Half X Evo. Where are you from, buddy? I'm on the outskirts of a small town called Morgantown, West Virginia. Yes, West Virginia is its own state. No, I'm not in the western part of Virginia. I guess the best way to do it, if you watch college football and the Mountaineers, they're the West Virginia team. I live right outside the college town. That's where I'm from. But thanks for watching and thanks for the comment. And he replied again the same day on a different video, which was Hanging with Dave, episode 25. Where are you from? Well, I'm from, just like I answered, from right outside Morgantown, West Virginia. So there's that one. But thanks for the double comments back to back. Appreciate it. German 7.5, 4 days ago. How to overclock the Ryzen 7 2700 with AMD Ryzen Master. Thank you, sir. If I close the app to play, would the changes keep applied? On that application, once you hit the apply button, they're constantly there. Even if you restart your computer or whatever, them settings still take effect as long as you got the little box checked that has the settings to enable whenever the computer boots up. But yeah, as long as you hit the applied button, they should stay and they should take effect and you can close the application. You don't have to have the application running while you're playing. Hope that answers your question. Thanks for the watching and thanks for the comment. Appreciate it. Twisted Bro 5, 4 days ago. Upgrade and rebuild the Cooler Master Half XP Evo 2019. Thumbs up. I needed this. Well, I'm glad I could provide you with the information you needed. It was pretty well just putting an extra hard drive in my system when I had it in that case. But I'm glad I could help you, and I hope you got some information out of it that became useful to you. Thanks for watching, and thanks for the comment. Hi, Hava Bubba. 4 days ago, how to update the BIOS on the Gigabyte B450 DS3H motherboard. Out of the 6 videos I watched, you were the one that actually helped me. Thank you. Well, you're welcome. Sorry you had to watch 5 other videos before you got the mind to actually get that BIOS done. I'm glad I could help you. I hope your sounds like your BIOS update went good for you. I'm glad I could help you. And thank you for watching, and thank you for the comment. Appreciate that. Three days ago, we got Jupiter Eye on how to update the Azeroth motherboard BIOS. Celeron processor, my God, I forgot about those. My first computer, I didn't want to get Celeron processor. I was installing on a Pentium 2, and I bought a dual CPU motherboard for Pentium 2, which was rare. I had a P2 400 megahertz, an SD RAM, if I remember correctly, Diamond Stealth Graphics S220 card, which was later upgraded to the Matrox G400. I miss those days being geeky about PCs. Today I am 40 years old, and yesterday I was looking to solve a problem with my machine restarting. Some 10-year-old kid on YouTube would show me how to solve it. I am so old. Ah, you're 40 years old? You're a little younger than I am yet, bud. Yeah, back in them days, you could actually make some money working on computers. That was the good old days. That was way back when. As far as, 10-year-old kid on YouTube telling you how to solve your problem, that's pretty common anymore. It's kind of why I kind of gave up the computer repair business. Because every time I ran advertisements out there, I always got, well, why are you charging this much when I can do it myself and this? And then, everybody thinks they're a technician today and they know everything about everything. And of course, they look up videos like I put out to figure it out. And they're just too cheap to pay their own money. But thanks for watching, and thanks for the comment. Ashman Dixon, he's in chat. He says, hey, what's up, Dave? Oh, another fine, cold, snowy Sunday morning here in West Virginia. How about yourself, Aspen? How you doing today, buddy? Glad you could join me today. Let's see here. What else do we got? 3 days ago. There's no name on it. Want to be friends? That was on the 10th Gen Common Lake X pricing and release dates. Okay, yeah, sure. We can be friends. Why not? But thanks for watching, and thanks for the comment, whoever you are. It just got a little dot right there. No name in front of it. Must be a spam thing. 3 days ago, we got Thick Boy, I guess is the way you pronounce that. Intel 10th Gen Comet Lake S pricing and release date. But first, I'm just going to smash a bottle of Johnny, I guess it's probably Johnny, I forgot his H. Bottle of Johnny Walker Red. Okay, you smash that bottle and you have fun with that. I'm not sure what you're going to do after that, but thank you for watching, and thanks for the comment. Appreciate your visiting the channel there. We have Rosborn 2 days ago. How to overclock the Ryzen 5 2400G on the Gigabyte B450M DS3H motherboard. The voltage adjustment is an offset. If you just select the voltage and type in 0.15, it will boost the stock voltage by the amount. I am running a 1600 AF at 4 gigahertz with a 1.1 offset. Yeah, in that motherboard, the voltage is a offset. You don't type in what you want it to run, which is pretty common with motherboard nowadays. It used to be you used to type in what you wanted. These newer motherboards really don't matter which manufacturer puts them out. They usually go by an offset on the voltage. thanks for the information, and thanks for watching, and thanks for the comment. What we got here next? We have Barndine 2 days ago. How to update the BIOS on the Gigabyte B450DS3H motherboard. Any way to do this without a flash drive. Need to update from F32 to F420 to make my motherboard compatible with my new Ryzen 3600. You'll either need a flash drive or an external hard drive that hooks up through USB. You'll need something that hooks up through some kind of storage device that hooks up through USB to be able to do this. You don't need a real big flash drive. I mean, you can get flash drives are fairly cheap. They're fairly inexpensive right now. You really don't need nothing fancy. You don't need, you don't need a real big one. But yeah, you will need some kind of storage device that hooks up through USB to be able to update that BIOS. I normally use flash drives because they're inexpensive and they're cheap, like I said. But yeah, you will need something that hooks up through USB to be able to get it done that has some memory to it. So thanks for watching and thanks for the comment. Ashman Dixon, doing good, Dave. Thanks. You're welcome, bud. Your thoughts on the AMD not supporting 3000 and 4000 series boards on the 3rd gen Ryzen? You're talking about the B550 motherboards not supporting it? Is that what you're talking about, bud? Or are you talking about the existing motherboards like the B450 and whatnot supporting the upcoming processors? I mean, even the Ryzen 3, the ones that are just launching, the B550, you can't do nothing other than the 2nd gen Ryzen or the 3000 series processors on the B550 motherboards. I guess with the way I'm understanding it, their memory, because there are so many CPUs that's compatible, and your motherboard's only got very small memory chips on it. So it can only hold so much memory to be compatible with so many CPUs. I mean, I hate to see them do it, but to send back all the motherboards and to have bigger memory chips put on them and whatnot, which I don't even know if it's possible or not. Sooner or later, and apparently AMD didn't think this out, because you've already got, probably 20 or 30 different CPUs for AM4, starting with the 1st gen all the way up to the 2nd gen, now into the 3rd gen on the same motherboards. Them chiplets is only so big, and you have to have so much memory on there to hold so much information. Hey, what's going on, stream? I think it kind of sucks that they have to do that. That they ain't gonna be all backwards compatible. But in other words, the AMD came out and said these motherboards were going to be, AMD came out and said they were going to be backwards compatible up to 2020, which so far they've done. Towards the end of the year here of 2020, like I said, I don't think they thought it out very, very good that them little chiplets on the motherboards to remember all that. It's, there's only so much memory in them little chiplets. Stream, I am all good. I'm glad to hear that, Stream. Thanks for joining me today, bud. I mean, it kind of does suck that kind of sucks that the compatibility ain't going to be there, but it's also understandable as well. They've done a lot better than what Intel does. Intel every generation, even with the 10th gen now, they ain't gonna be compatible with the motherboards for the 9th gen. You know, AMD at least gave us backwards compatibility as long as they could. You know, I hate to see it go away that way, but still, yet, you know, if you have a B450 motherboard, you know, you can still go up to third gen, but the B550 motherboards won't support anything older than the third gen. I mean, you know, it's kind of a trade-off. It's kind of, you know, it's kind of bad news, but they've kind of held true to the promise too over the years. You know, you're looking at, you know, three different years, three different generations of processors still being backwards compatible. I think they did pretty good on that. Let's see here. Aspen Dixon, yeah, the BIOS chip size seems to be their excuse. Yeah, that's what I'm understanding is the BIOS chip size. Um, you know, them things can only hold so much information, just like any other storage device. Stream, I guess it's all in the name of progression. Even if it's not backwards compatible, we are getting innovation at least. Yeah, we are getting pretty good innovation out of the B450 or the B550 motherboards. Um, I mean, I hate to see it happen because the B550s we really don't have pricing on them yet. You know, from what I'm understanding, you know, you're looking at $100 for the B550 motherboards, which even the B450s, you're looking at $100 for the minimum, you know, 80, 90 bucks, somewhere in that area. So they ain't going to be much more than what the B450 is. Aspen Dixon, the B550 doesn't seem to offer much over the 450s, other than the PCI Gen 4. Stream says, yeah, that's about the biggest difference in the 550s and the 550s is just the PCI Express times 4. There is no other real thing besides the other thing that the B550 is actually offering is the compatibility to go forward from this point on. You know, it kind of bites, kind of, you know, like I said, but you know, the B550s, they should, they're doing the third gen. They'll probably be doing at least the fourth gen. The fifth gen, they may change up and go to an AM5 socket or something, which I could see happening. You know, the AM5 socket with the DDR5 memory that's going to be coming out. I can see that happening. The fives on the fives, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's kind of a sad thing that they have to do it that way. But you know, it's technology. It's it is what it is. You know. Like I said, you know, AMD should have thought it out a little bit better whenever they started coming out with all these different chips. And even now with the Ryzen 3 3100, 3300X, it's even more chips to the lineup to try to get to be compatible with the older motherboards. And it's just, you know, there's a lot of data information these motherboards actually hold that nobody really takes into consideration. Let's see our stream. I would love to see cheaper motherboards with built-in RAM interface. Yeah, if you want a built-in RAM or you want the Wi-Fi, you need to. It comes at a premium cost. If you go back and watch my older video in my first build of the Cooler Master case, I actually put a Wi-Fi cord in that one. You know, of course that was back in 2015, 2016, I think it was. But you know, I could have. I was on the AM3 platform. I could have spent an extra probably 40, 50 bucks on a motherboard and got the got the Wi-Fi. Well, instead I actually shot myself in the foot and I didn't get that on the motherboard. So I had to buy like a $60 or $70 Wi-Fi cord to put in the system. Which I think today, if you really need Wi-Fi and you want to, and you can have the space on your motherboard, you know, you can get a Wi-Fi cord a little bit cheaper than that nowadays. But back then I couldn't. Stream, I would love to see a cheaper, yeah, that's what I was talking about, yeah. Yeah, I'd like to see them be able to integrate Wi-Fi on a cheaper motherboard. Um, for the ones that need Wi-Fi. My system with the YouTube, with the streaming and everything, I've actually got my setup on a cable, so I really don't use Wi-Fi on my computer. But, you know, and that's kind of why you pay the premium for like the mini ITX motherboards and whatnot, because most of them got Wi-Fi and want them in their smaller footprint. But that Wi-Fi adds to the cost too, so you have that aspect of it too. Let's get back here to the comments that we've been going through here. Let's see. I answered that one. We got Tubus 2 days ago. How to overclock your RAM on the Gigabyte B450M DS3H motherboard. I have the BM450 DS3H. Can outrun RAM at 3200 megahertz. On the box, they say that the RAM is it at 3200. Depending on the RAM kit, you could just go in and enable your XMP and it'll work fine, or you may have to manually overclock it like I showed in the video. But you should be able to run at 3200 megahertz one way or the other. If you have to manually overclock it, just go in and type in the overclock numbers in manually. A lot of times that does it. Thanks for watching and thanks for the comment. Stream, I guess desktop AMT meant to be portable though. So Wi-Fi is kind of useless. Now when I did my half case built and I put the Wi-Fi cord in, I didn't have the option to run the cable from one end of the home all the way to the other end of the home to get connected. So I had to put a Wi-Fi cord in because I had to go off of Wi-Fi. There is some uses for Wi-Fi. I could actually hook up Wi-Fi in the system I've got now and use Wi-Fi for downloading a video while I'm streaming or something like that. You could do both at the same time if you have both connections. But yeah, I mean, with the desktops, and if you can get a cable ran to them, Wi-Fi is pretty useless. But a lot of people don't have that option, Like I said, or a little bit earlier, I live in Morgantown, West Virginia, right outside of it, and there's a lot of college students. And they're, whenever they rent an apartment or whatnot, it comes with free Wi-Fi, but they don't have access to a LAN cable. So their Wi-Fi is the only thing they have the option to, which, I've heard that a good bit from the students as well. They have to have Wi-Fi. So yeah, there is some use case scenarios for having a Wi-Fi built, but even at that, talking about Wi-Fi built into motherboards, it'll kind of make your motherboards go out sooner because of the Wi-Fi chips on them. Because Wi-Fi, the integrations to Wi-Fi goes up so fast that with the newer technologies and whatnot coming out, it's easier just to buy you a little $20 or $30 Wi-Fi adapter, slap it in a USB, and then when it comes outdated and it don't work no more, you throw it away and buy you another one put into it. Well, if it's built onto the motherboard, to be able to get your Wi-Fi reconnected, you have to rebuy another motherboard. Me personally, I really don't like the motherboards with integrated Wi-Fi because of that. A lot of times Wi-Fi is backwards compatible to a point. But if you plan on owning a system for 10, 11, 12 years or using the same motherboard, you're going to hit that point to where your Wi-Fi card ain't going to connect because it ain't going to be able to support the newest Wi-Fi. So, there's that point of it too as well. Stream, yeah, you make a good point. Well, thank you. Let's see here. What else do we have here on the comments for this week? We have Bumpus 1 day ago. How to disable the onboard graphics on the Gigabyte B450MH DS3H motherboard. Hey Dave, I found this video while I was trying to fix a problem with Windows, not finding both of my RAM sticks. So instead of 16 gig control panel, only said I had 8 gigs. I have this motherboard, however, I do not have the option to disable integrated graphics because of there seems not to be no integrated graphics. The integrated graphics thing, if you ain't running, depends on the CPU you're running. If you want the integrated graphics, it only shows up if you're running like the 2400G, the 3400G, the 2200G, or some of the Athlon processors that has integrated graphics. If you ain't running one of them, it ain't gonna show up as integrated graphics because there ain't nothing to apply it. As far as Windows not seeing all 16 gigs of your RAM, I'd go in and make sure your BIOS is seeing all 16 gigs, because usually Windows gets that information from your BIOS and your motherboard. And if your motherboard ain't showing 16 gigs, I'd try to reconnect your RAM. Uninstall it and reinstall your RAMs. That way, because that's where Windows usually gets that information from, if it ain't showing up in your Windows control panel. That'd be my first starting point on that, not seeing all 16 gigs of your RAM in Windows. But thanks for watching and thanks for the comment. Let's see here. Aspen Dixon, I am using a Wi-Fi cord on my DS3H. Although Gigabyte launched another version with built-in Wi-Fi. Good for a budget board. Yeah, that DS3H is a good budget board. It is one of the cheapest motherboards. I think ASRock right now has one cheaper than that. Whenever I bought that Gigabyte motherboard for them builds, it was actually the cheapest B450 motherboard that was on the market at the time. Aspen, why are you using Wi-Fi? You don't have a wired connection to your computer? Let's see here. Next comment we got Lee Milroy. 23 hours ago. How to overclock your RAM on a Gigabyte B450M DS3H motherboard. I just got a Gigabyte B450M gaming motherboard with a Ryzen 5 3600 Corsair LPX 16 gigs DDR4 3600 memory or megahertz. Hoping it can get the high. Not had a chance to look because my other parts haven't arrived. But do you think it is possible? Corsair has came out and said that their RAM is not guaranteed to be compatible with Ryzen, but it's possible. I'd try clicking on the XMP and see if it kicks in automatically. Make sure it's stable. If not, you may have to go in and manually overclock it. A lot of times, if you take them XMP profiles and type them in, if the XMP ain't working, you still, you can still get it to run at them speeds with them settings. You just have to manually put them in for you. But thanks for watching and thanks for the comment. Stream, I'm thinking about buying the Asus Prime AB450 instead of the DS3H. If I'm not mistaken, the Asus Prime B450, it's a little bit more of a budget a little bit more expensive motherboard. But with my experience, Asus has a little bit better overclocking. Aspen, yeah, don't have wired internet access. Yeah, like I said, some people have access to wire, some don't. Asus makes a good motherboard. That's what I'm running now. They're a little bit more expensive, but in my experience with overclocking, which I don't have a whole lot of experience with overclocking, I've never had somebody contact me and say, "Hey Dave, here, why are you charging me to overclock my motherboard?" It just don't happen. People just don't pay for that. So I haven't really got into it besides in the last couple of years. But it seems like Asus has got the better overclocking abilities. The motherboard is better structured and better VRMs for the overclocking abilities of them. So it all depends. I mean, if you're looking to save a little bit of money, the DS3H is a good budget motherboard, good for starting out if you don't plan on doing no major overclocking or anything like that. Asus comes in, they got a little bit better VRM supplies, they got a little bit better components on the motherboard, but it comes at a premium too. It all depends on what you can fit into your budget for your ports. Let's see, what else do we got here? It's got a read more button underneath of it. Alright, here we go. Zorexy, I guess the way you pronounce that. How to update the ASRock motherboard BIOS. It specified videos like these that always end up helping. This helped because I am building my first build after being in computers since I was 8. I am 12M. 12M, I guess. 12RN. I think it's maybe RN right now. I've always been into computers and consider myself a veteran builder because I have watched so many PC videos. The motherboard is going to need a BIOS update. The build is going to be a Ryzen 3400G, and I'm going to get a RX 557 X570 in the future. Good video, 11 out of 10. Well, thank you for that rating. I appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoyed the video. I'm hoping it does all right for you updating that BIOS. And I try to get it to where I try to get my videos to where I help you guys out, and I try not to put a whole lot of fluff into them. I try to get straight to the point of the videos and get it done. The live show, it's a different story. That's why I'm here. Just kind of hang out with me, ask questions and whatnot. But the videos, I try to get straight to the point, get the information out there, and get you guys up and going. As far as the comments go, I try my best to answer them the best I can. A lot of the technical questions, I've said it before. I give you a good starting point. From that point on, without actually having the system, it's kind of hard for me to diagnose the problem systems, but I try my best. Let's see here. But thanks for watching, and thanks for the comment. Big Pappy, 57 minutes ago. How to overclock your RAM when your Gigabyte B450M DS3H motherboard. God D, he's sleepy. Yeah, whenever I was doing them videos, I wasn't getting much sleep. I've been trying to catch a little bit more sleep when I can. It's kind of hard. I do run the channel. I do also have a full-time job. I also have a girlfriend I like to spend time with. I also have a grown adult child that needs my help from time to time. My life's pretty busy. I've been trying to fit some more sleep into here, but it happens. Yeah, I was pretty sleepy when I did that overclocking video. But thanks for watching, and thanks for the comment. I guess for you too, Zorax, or however you pronounce that. Thank you guys for watching, and thanks for the comments. Appreciate that. 35 minutes ago, we got Giorgio Lifter. 35 minutes ago, how to overclock your RAM on the Gigabyte B450M DS3H motherboard. I have the same motherboard. Can I use XMP on Crucial Ballistic Sports? 2 times 4 gigahertz at 2400 megahertz. Don't know. Depending on the model of the RAM sticks, if it's on the QVL, you should be able to just use XMP. If not, you go in and throw them same settings in, you can probably get it up to whatever it's rated to run. Without having the model number of the RAM sticks, I really can't answer that question. Or even if I did, QVL lists can be off sometimes, so I don't know. But best of luck with it. You watched the video, so follow the steps, and if XMP don't work, try to manually overclock it through whatever it's set to be ran at. But thanks for watching and thanks for the comment. Let's see here. We got anybody else? Any other victims for the day? That was 1 hour ago. No other victims. I don't know why it says I got likely spam. I got 2 in there, but it don't show up for nothing. But anyways, all right, guys, that's pretty well it for the Q&A. Like I mentioned earlier, if you guys wasn't around, this week I didn't really touch on the Ryzen 3 3100 or 3300X. I got a dedicated video coming out on it. As far as last week, if you guys watched last week's live stream live, or if you watched this video, you know, I mentioned about maybe coming up with another channel for the gaming side of things. And I just don't have the time to run another channel. So my gameplay, my game streams will continue to be on this channel. It's just a time thing. So yeah, there's that as well. I'm not too sure on who subscribed for what reasons, but I will still, and I'm still trying to come up with a time frame to where I can stream my games on a regular basis instead of just hit and miss like I have been. It's kind of hard, like I said just a few minutes ago, you know. I do have a life outside of YouTube. I do have a full-time job. I got a girlfriend to spend time with. You know, it's kind of hard to do the time budgeting side of things. How about a video on all the BIOS settings in the DS3H? Mr. Ashman Dixon. I could do that. I could do one with that. I'm fine with the game stream. I'm fine with the gameplay being here. I'll watch whatever content it is. Well, thank you for that. Appreciate that, stream. You know, I was going to separate the gameplay videos from the tech. You know, create a second channel, but I just don't have time to run a second channel. You know, I want to get into streaming to Twitch as well, just to have a second source for my streams. You know, and I want to, like I said, you know, I want to try to get that on schedule where I can schedule my game streams. Working on it, trying, you know, but it all takes time. Video on all of the BIOS settings on the DS3H. I could probably do a video on that for you, Aspen. It's going to be a long video. I'll give you a heads up on that. It's, you know, there's a lot of settings in the BIOS. You know, I can see about it. I do still have the motherboard set up over there in the streaming, the rendering station. You know, I could go through and maybe I'll make videos on breakdown of each different setting. You know what I mean? There's different sets that I could break down to give you the full rundown of the specs of the motherboard. Because to run through every setting on that BIOS would be, you're looking at probably a 3 or 4 hour long video. But I could probably do that, and it all gonna depend on the BIOS you're running too. You know, some of the newer BIOS is gonna have settings that the older ones don't have, or some of the older ones may have settings that the new ones don't have because they've eliminated them. You know, it's but I could probably do that for you. I could probably run down some of them settings. Like I said, you know, go down through each segment of it as far as I can. You know, I don't like making my videos real long, but I could probably do something like that on the settings, the BIOS. Good thought on separating the channels. Yeah, Aspen, I'm actually thinking about that, which I don't know. I'm not too sure on that. I think it'd be good for, you know, whenever the channel gets big enough and I actually reach out to sponsors and whatnot to try to get some different content for the channel and whatnot. You know, a lot of them may not be one that's associated with a channel that does gaming and tech. So I think it's a good thought to try to separate them. But again, right now with my time frame the way it is, it's kind of hard to run one channel, let alone two channels. So we'll see what actually comes up with that. Stream, you could post Twitch highlights on YouTube. Just an idea. You can post Twitch highlights on YouTube. What do you mean, bud? You mean like streaming to Twitch and then just taking bits of it out and putting it on YouTube or something? Or how's that going? How you, can you explain that a little bit better for me? Let's see here. Who else we got here in chat? Spanish Gosh, I guess is the way you pronounce that. Hey, how much CPU core speed is supported by the B450DH3H motherboard? Can a Ryzen 2600 Turbo boost in this motherboard? Yeah, if the processor's set to whatever it's set to boost to, it can boost all the way up to the max in this motherboard. You know, that's pretty well set by the CPU, not really on the motherboard. The motherboard has a lot to do with the overclocking abilities and whatnot like that for manually overclocking. But if that CPU is made to boost up to a certain amount, the motherboard shouldn't hold it back to the way it can't boost up to what it should be. And actually, if you update the BIOS on the motherboards, it usually will go beyond what the CPU says it can boost to. But yeah, the Ryzen 2600 should turbo up all the way up to the max boost on the motherboard on the B550 on the B450 DS3H. It should boost up to whatever it's set up to boost to. What's the 2600 set to boost to? 2600 is boosted up to 3.9 gigahertz. Yeah, I've run the Ryzen 7 2700 in mine, and mine will boost all the way up to its rated speed. Like I said, it depends on what BIOS is on the motherboard, but it should boost up to the max frequency that the CPU can boost up to with no problems, no issues. Aspen Dixon, I can do 3 to 4 hours with a smiley face. Yeah, I figure you're smiling on 3 to 4 hours. Let's see here. So updating the motherboard will improve my performance. I am currently running F4 BIOS. You're running F4? Let's see here. Gigabyte B450 DS3H. Support. Alright, let me flip you guys over here. So updating the motherboard will improve my performance. I am currently running F4 BIOS in the motherboard. Yeah, F4 is all the way down here at the bottom. It improves the USB device capability over the F3. But all these here updates to the AGESA, all of them is going to give you better performance. Of course, you got the USB compatibility performance that it boosts as well. You can see some of them's got the Q-Flash compatibility that improves the USB device. But any of these ones that's got the AGESA improvements for it, like this one right here, F40, it upgrades it to where it can accept the 3000 series processors. But yeah, that they do actually, if you actually look up this here, let's see here. If you actually look up this AGESA, is the AMD generic collapsible software architecture, is a process liberty developed by AMD Microsoft AMD used to perform platform utilizations on motherboards using the AMD 64 architecture, 64 ports. As part of the BIOS of such motherboards, Aegis is responsible for utilizing the processor cores, memory, and the hyper-threading controller. So basically, what that's saying is it's going to help to allocate what does what with which core. It's going to help with the overclocking. It's going to help with the you're running 2600, so it's actually in charge of controlling which core of the CPU gets boosted to what amount. Um, so yeah, so you can definitely get better performance out of your CPU by updating this. A lot of it's got to do with DDR4 RAM compatibilities too. But yeah, but it does affect what the CPU will actually run up to. Um, a lot of people say that's just a gaming thing or whatnot. It really ain't. It's actually for the performance of the CPU that it actually boosts up. Let's see here. Aspen Dixon, update to F50. It will help the CPU to boost close to the max. What says Dave? Yeah, that AGESA version, it actually does a lot with that. It will help you. I wish I had the article or I could find it. AMD actually put out a thing on that about this. And of course, everything's pulling up out now because of the Ryzen 3s that's coming out. But that Aegis, however you want to pronounce that, it actually controls your CPU a little bit better. It goes into the inner functions of the CPU and helps it boost better. It helps with the overclocking of them. That's why, like Aspen asked earlier, I don't know if you was watching or not, but he asked my opinions on the F550 and whatnot and why the backwards compatibility thing. And that's part of the reason why the backwards compatibility is only going to last so long is because of that. The memory chips is only so big. That's what they're saying, which I believe to be true. Up till now with Ryzen, we've never had a motherboard that would actually support this many different processors. But updating that BIOS will let your CPU run up to its max. So I'd update all the way. I'd update to F50. I think that's the latest one they've got on the Gigabyte B450 DS3H, and it should let the 2600 max out. You can probably do up to F40 or something if you do. I only want to go so far, but I'd recommend going all the way up to the top because of the RAM compatibility and everything else that comes along with updating your BIOS. Can you guide me how to update the BIOS from F4? Uh, let's see here. Let's see if I can do it without cutting off the stream. All right. If you watched my either one, I've got two different videos covering this actually on how to update the BIOSes. Okay, let me flip you guys over here. You're down here on F4. All right, this is the one you got now. You need to go up to F40. You have to install F40, which it updates the AGESA from up to 1.0.0.2 for the next gen, which gives you compatibility with the Ryzen 3 or the second gen Ryzen. There's a note down here. If you are using QFlash utility to update your BIOS, which I recommend, make sure you have updated to F32 before 40. So you need to go down here and download this F32 to improve USB device compatibility and QFlash compatibility. You click on the download button and you save it wherever you want to, which I don't have a hard drive installed right now. And of course my computer's freezing up. But once that's done, you open it up. Let's get it over here, and it'll all be in one file. You'll have to extract it all. Choose where you want it to go to. Like I said, I don't have a zip drive or a flash drive installed. We'll go to the desktop, which it's going to look funny on my desktop. But you select and hit extract. You want to select your USB flash drive whenever you extract them. That's what you need, is the extracted file from it. Just leave the USB drive in the computer. Whenever you restart the computer, you tap on delete to get into the BIOS and go into the QFlash utility. If you haven't seen, I do have a walkthrough on how to do this on the channel if you'd like to look it up. I can't do it from here because I'd have to cancel out the stream because it has to go into the BIOS to do so. But once you get F32 done, then you will have to go from F32, then you can go all the way up to F50. And it's the same process. You hit the download button, hit the save, open when done. Then you extract all these onto your flash drive, whatever your flash drive may be. You know, and then it's the same thing. And then you have to restart your computer, tap delete to get into your BIOS to be able to get into updating that BIOS up to F50. I hope that kind of helps you. I can't really do it right now because to do it, your computer has to have several restarts to get into the BIOS and whatnot. You know, like I said, there's two videos on the channel that's updating the CPU or updating the BIOS for AMD Ryzen. You know, either one of those would be good for you. It'll show you exactly how to go through. Which is one thing I don't think I mentioned in the video. Before you do it, make sure your flash drive or your external drive is formatted into FAT32. Thank you so much. I can directly update to F32. No, not F32. You have to go up to F30, I believe. Before updating the BIOS, you must follow the steps in detail under F40. F4, yeah, you have to go straight to F30. Yeah, you can go straight to F32. Then once you get F32 installed, and then you can go all the way up to the newest. which is going to be F50. Thank you. So I can directly update my BIOS to F32. Yeah, no matter what you're on below F32, you can go straight up to F32. To go to above 32, you have to have 32 installed before you can go up to anything higher than F32. But yeah, that should get you set up pretty good. As far as the videos go, I don't know how to throw links out there, but yeah, there's if you just go to my channel and go to videos and search for BIOS updates, you should find 2 of them on the Gigabyte B450, the S3H. I did one on just updating the BIOS. Then I did another one on updating for Ryzen 3000 series processors, which is basically the same thing. I would make sure you don't have no power outages when you update your BIOS. I always connect mine to an UPS or an uninterruptible power supply, because if you lose power while you're updating your BIOS, you'll brick your motherboard. So definitely be careful of that. You know, make sure your power company don't have no outages planned in your area when you're updating your BIOS. Which my system always sets on a UPS anyways, but you know, if you have one, I'd use it. If not, make sure there ain't nothing scheduled for you to have loss of power. Just a little FYI there. And I don't hold no responsibility if you brick your motherboard. Don't come back yelling at me. Alright guys, you guys got any other questions or comments to put in the chat over here? Sorry, I can't actually show you how to actually get all the way into the BIOS and update it and whatnot. Like I said, there is a few on the channel that does show you how to do that all the way. I just can't get in to do it right now because I'd have to close down the live stream because of the computer having to restart to do it. But I do believe that's going to wrap it up for today, guys. I went through the comments and the questions, and I kind of mentioned about splitting the channel up into a gaming channel. I'm still thinking about that. I mean, I don't know. To run two different channels is going to take a lot of time. So we'll have to see what comes with that. I think splitting them off would be a good idea, and it is a great idea. It's just trying to find the time to do so. And then try to get everybody that's subscribed to the channel for the gaming aspect to go to the other channel to subscribe to that channel. And how I'm going to get that message out. I am on Twitter and I am on Instagram, which I don't have a whole lot of followers. I don't know if people that subscribe to the channel is following me over there or not to be able to put it out there. Let's see here. We got another chat here. Spain your issue. Gosh, thanks. I faced another problem when I overclocked my RAM 2933 megahertz. I had bought booters. I am using 3000 megahertz RAM. Yeah, the Gigabyte motherboards, well, any AM4 motherboard is pretty picky about the RAM, depending on the model of the RAM. You know, you have to check the QVL list to make sure it's on the QVL list. And I've even found kits that's on the QVL list that don't run with the XMP profile. I mean, AMD, Ryzen, depending on the processor you're running, they are very finicky about the RAM. And that's really, it's kind of based on the motherboard, but it's really the CPU issue more than the RAM issue, because the motherboards do, the manufacturer of the motherboards do what the CPU manufacturers tell them to do with the motherboards. So it kind of all falls back into AMD's lap on that. You know, and I've mentioned it before, you know, a lot of times you can just go in and type in your XMP profiles into the settings and your manual overclock, and usually it'll run okay. Usually, but it's a good starting point. You may have to tighten up your timings a little bit, or loosen up your timings a little bit, or kick it back a little bit to be able to get to work right. Overclocking is a pretty finicky thing. You just have to try and see what you can get to actually work, and see what you can get to be stable for you. But that's the fun of overclocking. But I think it's going to pretty well wrap it up for the day, guys. I went through the comments and kind of talked about separating the channel and the gaming channel. I'm still considering it, but the time frame, you know, being able to put content up on the tech channel, being able to put time that I put the regular content up on the gaming channel, I'm not too sure on that. I haven't really made up my mind. Like I said, this week, you know, you can expect a Ryzen 3100X review to come out, which I don't have them in hand. I can't order them. You know, I don't have nothing gave to me, so, you know, I'm going to be going off of other people's numbers on it, but I am going to be putting a video out on it anyways. Looks like I got 5 connected viewers today. I want to thank y'all for joining me and hanging out with me. Cheers to y'all. Thanks for all the comments and the chat over there this morning. Kind of made it a little bit more interesting, I reckon. I enjoy answering you guys' questions in the chat the best that I can. I want to thank you guys for being here with me today, and if you're watching the video later on, thank you for watching the video. If you like this kind of content, make sure you give me thumbs up. If not, thumbs down. There's that comment section. I'll go through them every weekend here on the live show, just like I did today. And then I always try to type back to them. See you later, stream. You have a nice day, buddy. And if you like this kind of content, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn that notification bell to all. That way you're notified next time I go live, or I put out another video here on YouTube. With all that being said, you all have a good day. Stay safe out there within this pandemic. And I'll see you in the next video or live stream.